February 25th meeting to order. We have everyone here except Joe, so hopefully he'll pop in a little bit. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, on the agenda, the first thing we have is the grant application. We had applied for a grant for West Shore Drive. We didn't get it. However, there's a third round that opens up in September. You can't hear me? You mean I'm talking too softly?
Yes.
All right. So the grant application that we applied for back in September, we did not get. We scored fairly high, and we weren't that far behind some of the projects that did get awarded a grant. The third round opens up September 1st, closes, so we have from September 1st to November 16th if we want to apply again. I think we should. And what I think we should do is contact John McLean at DEP, who handles the grants. He helps score them, and see what we can do to improve our score. It may be just a matter of contacting Inland Fisheries and starting to apply for the permits. So, and if that's the case, we certainly can do that and improve our score and hopefully get it on the third round. So I'd like a motion to be able to contact the necessary people to gather the information that we need to reapply.
So I'll make a motion that we allow this committee to contact DEP or Inland Fisheries and any other agencies that we would be needing for securing a successful grant for West Shore Drive culvert.
Second.
Any discussion?
When we got the grant back, my laptop wouldn't open it. Like Jennifer sent us the whole thing. Did it say why we didn't qualify for it?
It's on the website.
On there?
No, it doesn't say why. It gives the scoring criteria and what score we got.
All right.
So, but that information is on the website. I looked at it briefly when the awards were first announced, but I haven't done anything with it since. So, which is why I wanted to contact John, because he's very, very helpful, and since we're not in the grant period, he can help us now. And we, Inland Fisheries can also give us some advice. We've got the sketch plan done.
Yeah.
So we should be able to do this on our own using that same sketch plan that you already paid for.
Yeah.
So, did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. So we have a motion on the table. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Next thing on the agenda is our classes. DEP is trying to put together a stream crossing installation class, which I think would be something that would be beneficial for us to have here. There's another stream crossing grant class in July, which I will go to, which I went to one before, and what they did is help let you know what you need for the grant so you can improve your score. So I plan on going to that one. That's on July 1st. There is a bridge class that DOT is having. Pete Coughlin finally has help Phil Curtis has been replaced, so they're doing classes again. They're going to be doing a bridge class in Buxton on May 17th. I'm going to go to that. They had said, the paperwork said that they would prefer that only 3 people from a town attend. So I thought that, you and Joe should have the first shot if you want to go.
Yeah.
So think about it, let me know.
Yeah. I think it'd benefit him. I mean, he's the one that's got most of the bridges.
No, I know. But for continuing education, I didn't know if that's something that you would
I'll
want.
definitely go to it. I just gonna have to have a reminder, that's all.
And the new Phil Curtis, his name is Paul Brown. He wanted to know if we still wanted to have the snow and ice class, to try to get that here in town. Is
Yeah,
that
if he's
something?
willing to have it or something, yeah, we can have it. I meant to, just with the weather and stuff, I meant to get back to him, but I just,
Okay. All right, no, so these are just some of the things I've seen. There may be other things out there that I might find that we might want to do. I'd like to see the stream crossing class come in. Also, do we want to think about having another gravel road maintenance class for our private road people? That's something to think about. We had one last summer, and it was very well attended. So, we can throw that out there to see if enough people would be interested. So, I have a motion on contacting these people for classes.
Definitely, snow and ice is good. They're all good.
yeah,
Yeah.
the bridge one, I'd be interested in going to that one, the bridge one.
Yeah, you got 2 bridges.
Yeah, I'd be interested in going to that.
Here is I can print that out again, so you can have that if you want.
Oh, that's
You would
good.
share that information with Joe.
All right. So is this the one for the
That's the one for
bridges?
just the bridges, yes. There's one in Buxton, and then if we had more people that wanted to go, there's another one, I think, on May 4th in Augusta.
All right. Because I just got a pamphlet from the main local roads about a bunch of classes, more like road work classes, like the road commission and stuff, but I think this was on here. I'd have to look at it again.
Yeah, and that information's all online, so, all right. How
So
about?
I'll make a motion that we allow this committee to make contact with agencies in both the state and the commercial nonprofits to bring in continuing education programs for the road committee, the road commissioners, and taxpayers.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Unfortunately, our selectmen aren't here to answer whether the RSMS is being updated. We don't have access to it, so we don't know. Will, do you know if they're updating it when you guys send in your...
I'm not sure. I know there was talk about it. We've talked about doing other things with it, but I haven't, nothing to my knowledge.
So that's something that we need to focus a little more on. So, unfortunately, they're not here to answer that question.
There's a lot of stuff that should go in it. We did all this stuff last
Right.
summer, so.
I mean, when you submit all of your bills, that's the perfect time to update it.
Well, now we have now we have to do our, scope of work projects. I mean, you could take all that stuff and put it in there, then, if we change culverts or ditching, we can always put that information in there. I mean, no, I haven't heard anything of them updating it. I can certainly ask them, tomorrow night or something,
Okay,
so.
okay.
Leslie,
Yes,
2 things about that RSMS. A year ago, the interim road commissioner made a suggestion to the selectmen that the road commissioners have these iPads or whatever, and they could put that stuff directly in
Right.
themselves. And there was a question of people having access to the server, And that was one of the reasons that we put more time for the secretary. We added hours to her pay this past year, and that was one of the things that, reasons they gave for adding time to having that secretary. So if it's not being done, which is supposed to be getting done, then obviously it's all on.
Because, yeah, I remember that now. I mean, I have pictures of everything we did last year, even when we did work on Newbridge Road, I have pictures of everything, so, I mean, if that's something we could do, I'd be more than willing to hand all that stuff over, so we can put it in
I think
there.
this software package does not go on the server. I mean, it's, I believe, and I could be wrong about this, I believe it's a standalone software program that runs the algorithms to, you know, yeah, and it's a great system to take the politics out of all of this. But we should be using it. I mean, the town paid for the software. The road committee went out and spent 2 full days surveying all the town roads. So, I mean, that was a lot of work.
Chuck also did laid over the road traffic counts on it and the school bus routes, so that, you know, to prioritize
I
them.
mean, he spent countless hours putting that all together. But we should actually be using it, so, anyway.
Well, the bottom line is with that system, it gives our 2 road commissioners some grit and what they want to do into the, you know, next year or the year after or whatever.
Right.
Because here's all the information right here. It isn't somebody like me just using my opinion on this is how it should be. It's all
Right.
based on facts. And it'd be a lot easier on both road commissioners presenting to the town meeting and the Warren Finance Committee if they had documentation to back up what they're saying.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that.
Which I could be totally wrong, I don't, but I haven't heard anything about it. They could be, I don't know. I'd have to ask, so.
Okay, so we'll need to follow up on that. The bridge reports are out. And all the bridges in town were inspected back in September of 2019. Canal Bridge has a federal sufficiency rating of 23. Row Bridge has a federal sufficiency rating of 28. We spent $20,000 on an engineering report for Row Bridge that we, to my knowledge, have not followed up with with the engineer. I mean, a number of us on the committee read the report. The options didn't look, my problem with it was the 2 options to repair it, they said probably would not meet Maine and/or New Hampshire's permitting requirements. But I felt it, and I told this to the selectmen, that we should be sitting down with the engineer and saying, why would you give us this? You know, what are the chances of getting these permits? And, you know, explain the report.
Well, option 3,
Option 3 was to repair, which
Was
would
the-
only last a couple of years.
but it's better than nothing.
Which one
Replacing
was-
the guardrails, stuff like that, you
Yeah.
know, where the rebar is staying out. I mean, it's better than nothing.
Right, but we did that, and the state went in and inspected it, and we still have a rating of 28.
Now, the 28,000, I mean, the third one was what, the 90,000?
The 95,000, it was gonna be like,
It's putting riprap around
Around that.
around it, you know, on the bank, putting the
Yeah.
guardrails up, replacing the
The cement butters
The
or
cement.
whatnot.
yeah. I mean, it was only a temporary thing, for and they said it would probably be good for a couple of years.
It might get it up
The
over.
culvert's
It might get
blowing
it up
out
over,
underneath that,
28
too.
though.
It might.
It might. It
Well-
might be something we can do to get it over 28. That's
I-
pretty low.
Under 50, it's a candidate for replacement. Over 50, they consider it one that you can restore but the culvert there is failing that comes down from the hill, and the water's going around it rather than through it. So I guess they've got to, I haven't been to see it, but we have old neighbors there, and they called to mention it.
I know Joe went down there this fall
They
and,
fixed that.
No, Joe opened it up.
Yeah,
He
they
opened it
They
up.
opened the culvert up and dug it around on the end of it.
They should really have a catch basin or something in there, you know, to catch all the dirt.
that's
Rather than it just blowing
about,
out in the river.
I think back in like November, cause I
This
remember.
November.
Cause they were up there for a little bit, they couldn't find the culvert, so we took a metal detector and
Yeah,
found
we
it.
saw.
Right now, I'm gonna give you the age of condition that the state had on their report, so you guys can tell us better what this actually means. The deck condition was rated at 5 out of 10. They said it was fair condition. There was a minor section loss. The superstructure condition was 5, fair condition, minor section loss again. Substructure condition is rated a 4, which is poor, and they said it is advanced deterioration. The channel condition is a 6. It says bank slump, widespread minor damage. And approach condition is a 4, meets minimum tolerable limits to be left in place as is. Annual daily traffic count is 519.
That's how many cars go over it a day?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's what the bridge report says for road.
I speak about that, Leslie.
Yeah, I mean, if you can explain any of this to us and to the audience, it would be
Well, I
very
can explain a
helpful.
lot more of the cause,
Okay,
okay? Why that's been deteriorating at a higher rate of speed is two things. Is the amount of salt that's hitting that bridge, okay? There's nothing more detrimental to cement than salt. They have nothing to catch the water where the salt comes off the road to stop the salt from hitting that bridge. It just like Denny was just saying, if you take and you do that lesser amount that the engineer come up with, what you're gonna do is you're gonna rip wrap that whole banking.
right.
You can have a couple of catch basins in there, and it's gonna catch all this stuff before it gets down to the cement. And the fact that 2 or 3 years, past 2 or 3 years anyway, that the road commissioner failed to even sweep the bridge off from all the contaminants, didn't do it any favors.
Right.
And at least our existing road commissioner went down there and tried to repair the cement at Pat Stevens down there. They have not put any sealant on that bridge for at least 20 years. For many years, the older people like me that didn't know anything, every so many years, the town of Acton and the town of Milton got together and they put sealant on that cement. And that was long before they started using all the salt they do use now.
Right.
the bridge book has a checklist on that, and it says it should be sealed every 2 years.
So, and now where we're at, because the selectmen have clearly said that we're not gonna meet with that engineer. Mr. Winchell had a conversation with the engineer. You can hear what he's talking about at a selectmen's meeting after we did that. And there's no interest in moving forward.
Even though the taxpayers spent $20,000
To move
for
this
this.
forward,
Right.
because this road bridge has been an issue for at least 40 years. Okay? And it's just like the canal bridge. When Dave Cody was the chairman of the road committee, which was 20 years ago, he did an enormous amount of research on the canal bridge, and that's when they put the weight limit on it. And it was rated a lot higher than it is now. And as far as I'm concerned, right now, what the selectmen have done is they've spent $20,000 on an engineer for nothing.
And won't sit down and talk to
They won't
them.
even sit down and have a conversation with them. And as far as the rest of it, they're just putting their head in the sand, and if we don't address it, maybe it'll go away. Well, it's gonna go away because these two bridges are gonna go away before we're done. And then who knows what it's gonna cost. So if you do like the least cost of that project, it will extend our life of that bridge. It might not get any worse than it is now. So you might get another 10 or 15 years out of it.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, even Canal Bridge has, the average daily traffic is 468 cars.
Oh, I believe that.
So, I mean, there's a lot of cars going over both of those bridges, and
You know what the ratings were at the last inspection?
I can go back and find it.
About this, they were about the same,
Were they about the same?
yeah. There's also a hole on that, on the deck on that, on the downstream side that you can't see because the sand hasn't been taken away. But if you look downstream and to your left,
Is that on the canal bridge you're talking, or
this, I'm talking about the row.
Yeah.
You look down there, you'll see the spine where the salt comes out, has eaten
Yeah,
away
I've seen that.
underneath. And you look up in you can see up from daylight from underneath.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I thought the rating last time, Cindy, was a little higher than 30 on both those.
No,
I don't know if I can get online here.
it might have been a 30, but 28, 30, it's still lousy.
Well, I appreciate that, but if it was a 30 and now it's a 28, it's declining, is my point.
Yeah. We didn't gain anything by what we did.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I can't get online. So, anyway, I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention, the bridge reports, and like I said, I'll be going to that, the bridge class, to help me understand a little bit more, and,
I would take a vote from the road committee to
What's-
see if you guys want to meet with that engineer or not. And take the vote to the selectmen. So it's not just you saying you want to meet with them.
right, now, that's it, you're very right, right? Anyone would like to, make a motion?
But to what end, though? What, I mean,
I mean, all we are is an advisory committee.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we
Maybe you have
can't-
a conversation with a professional person you hired.
No,
When Wakefield had the men, we went over on the canal bridge. Three of us went over, Arnie and, I forget, Chuck and myself.
Elise went, well, also, didn't she?
I don't remember, but they had a presentation from the engineer, and they also had a presentation from Warren Finance Committee that had been in from the beginning, and they had done the work to put it together for how to finance their bridge work. But they gave it, I mean, they had everything set up, and we were welcome because we're another town and involved, and we've got other towns involved in both of these. So I mean, it shouldn't be just one person, it should be,
I appreciate that, Cindy, but the bottom line is they started out hiring an engineer to look at them and then sitting down with an engineer and see what the engineer had to say about it.
yeah, we all should have been there.
And we hired the engineer, but nobody sat down and had a conversation yet. So
Yeah.
until you have a conversation with this engineer, you really can't move forward. Because there's nobody in this town qualified to say what we need to do to that bridge
Right.
or the approach.
Did the engineer give a report?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, so why do we really have to sit down? He gave us the report, so.
because didn't you read the report?
I did, well, some of
The,
it.
he gave us,
Yeah,
they gave us
different
three
things, yeah.
options, right.
1.1 million and 90,
890 million for
Thousand
one,
and-
and then
right,
95,000
that
for the
could last a
third.
year or so. So I don't understand why do we have to sit down with the engineer to discuss what he already told us?
It's no cost.
Well, I know, but what do we?
It's like sitting down and having a conversation with Will. You know, Will can write down when he gives, say, his budget to the Warren Finance Committee, he can write all that down. I'm perfectly capable of understanding it,
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah,
But there might be something there that I don't understand, And there might be an alternative that you could talk about with this professional, saying you might be able to do it this year instead for $70,000 and accomplish the same thing. I don't know, Ron.
I don't either. That's what, I just didn't know. He
He
gave us the written thing,
Yeah,
and we all looked at it. I don't see,
there's no cost to him coming and talking to you guys, so
okay,
so
no,
there's no harm.
yeah, no harm, no foul, yeah.
Mayor,
Yes.
as a taxpayer, I'd like to know, if we paid $20,000 to this firm, why did they give us 3 choices of which might not meet the requirements of either state?
And that was my initial question is,
Why would I pay you for your advice if your advice is something I can't do
Well,
because
I-
the rules of the roads don't allow it? I would like to know why they took my money and then told me, well, you can do this, but it doesn't meet state regulations on either state. And it's 20 grand.
Yeah,
and the only people that can answer that is the engineer.
Correct. That's what I would ask them. That's what I would ask them.
I know back a few years ago on the Canal Bridge, there was a big, when we first started this whole process with bridges and stuff, they wanted, protect that as a landmark or historical thing. So I don't know how you replace them rocks and stuff and still keep it in the historical part of it.
They were
I think
they were
this is where-
talking about building a span over
They
it.
have a design for
So
it.
just,
Yeah.
okay.
Going on
Yeah.
top.
Just
leaving it-
going on
leaving
top
it
of the
now.
road it is now? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
So
remember
they,
that.
because it is listed in the historical register.
It is pretty cool. If you ever looked underneath there, it's pretty awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
It really
So
is.
they were gonna just build a span over it and then, and preserve what was there.
Okay.
New Hampshire has a guy that comes in and he'll put the stones all back exactly where they're supposed to be. And they had it all planned out and cost out.
Yeah, but isn't, like Milton and Wakefield, aren't they not gonna spend any money till like 2026 or something?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
2026.
Their state money doesn't come in until 2026.
Yeah.
For, I believe Wakefield. I don't know if Milton
I thought that was
has
Milton.
even
No, it was just
applied.
Wakefield.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Wakefield.
And Milton has, no dog in the fight with Row Bridge because their people don't use.
Right.
That's not an important bridge to them.
Correct. That- yeah.
So chances of them
Putting
rushing
in-
to help us with that bridge are slim to none.
I mean, it's one of those deals. I mean, we do something now, preserve it for a couple more years, or we're just gonna have to pay the price when it happens, I guess. I mean, it is,
But the truth of the matter is, the Board of Selectmen have not met with the selectmen of the town of Milton. They have not.
I thought Kim did.
The Board of Selectmen,
Well, okay, yeah, okay.
As a whole.
All right, the board has not, right. I thought Kim
with the
did, right.
Board of Selectmen in Milton, and they need to sit down with the Board of Selectmen in Wakefield. Instead of sending one person or a road commissioner talking to that road commissioner, it's absolutely ridiculous. The 2 towns need to work together, or 3 towns, and come up with some kind of a solution. And saying that they won't do it, or they're not interested because a road commissioner said he's not interested, that's got nothing to do with the town of Milton.
Right.
As far as an official decision, if the selectmen say to us, selectmen, we do not care about that, we're doing nothing with it, then you have the answer. But those are the only ones you really should be getting the answer from.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
So did anyone want to make a motion, or do you just want to let that go at this point? It's up to you guys.
I mean, Dennis has got a point, go ahead.
No,
I mean, Dennis has got a point. I mean, there could be another alternative, but, I mean, Joyce's got a good opinion too. I mean, if it doesn't meet the criteria, I mean, is it really gonna be worth spending the
I mean, if you can't get a permit, you
95,000?
can't get a permit. You're not going to be able to do it.
And then when they said they're talking about the approach down, they're talking about the curve, right?
The curve, the
Yeah, that's
curve's
right.
being too much.
Yeah, that's what I thought it would, that's what it meant. I mean, what do you, I mean, there's so many, you know, what ifs, but I mean, it's,
The dam is also a consideration for that, the condition of it. That's older than the bridge. And when we had the drought a few years ago, It was running right out through the bottom. Jason Mowry took pictures and sent it in, and there's gonna be a time when that's gonna go if it's not repaired too. And Acton was involved, we did it last time, but state of New Hampshire owns it now. So it's all a tangled mess.
I mean, it's one of those, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think we should ask the selectmen to meet with the other 3 selectmen or 4, whatever they have over there, on each town and see what, and I think one of us maybe just go and observe, don't say nothing, but just see what they have to say.
Well, the bridges are in our purview and according to the ordinance, so we should be there anyway.
Right, so,
I'll second Robin's motion.
Yeah.
Okay? Any more discussion?
No, I'd put that to them first and see if they'll go meet with all of them. I mean, what are they gonna tell us?
So you want to add, meet with the engineer also?
I mean, I think they should meet, I think we should, but I think they should meet with all the selectmen and see where everybody stands. I mean, like
Right.
Dennis is right, maybe we go to Milton, they'll say, no, we want nothing to do with it.
Okay.
But, and Wakefield might say, oh, Jesus, now they're all here, let's do something, I mean,
right,
I think you gotta,
maybe they'll just say they'll not gonna do anything until the 26th, like they originally said,
and if that's the case, well, we'll see you in 2026 then.
Yeah.
Jay, what do you got for a motion?
That we asked the selectmen to get a meeting with Wakefield and Milton, sit down with them to discuss the bridges, and one of the committee will go to
At least one,
watch,
yeah. All right.
observe.
Is that,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's where we should start.
It's a starting area, that's,
right, Danny, and you
I'll
seconded, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
if the selectmen over there say, no, we're not doing nothing, then we know the ball's in our ballpark and we gotta do what we gotta do. Either that or close it down and make everybody go around. That ain't what I wanna do. But if it's a really hazardous, as much as the engineer says it is, we gotta do something. Close it down. Yes, it's gonna be an inconvenience, but until we have enough money to rebuild it and rebuild it right. I can't say, throw 90,000 to it and only gonna last a couple, 3 years, what the state's telling us. No, do I really wanna do that? No, I'd rather wait, build some funds up for that project and go with it. Yes, again, it's gonna be an inconvenience to people on the mills and that stuff to go around, but what do we do?
Another thing, Robin, talking about that $90,000, I wouldn't be surprised knowing that an engineer come up with this. That engineer,
Motion on the floor.
was talking about somebody like Shaw Brothers or somebody like that coming in to do stuff.
Correct.
And quite often, our own road crew, I wouldn't be surprised could do it for half that amount of money. That $90,000.
Right, I don't know if the road commissioners do it, or they have a certified person do it, it's the same
They
thing.
are certified.
All right, hold on, we got a motion on the floor, let's,
Yeah,
okay? All right, you want to read it one more time?
No. Robin had made a motion to request that the selectmen meet with the Milton and Wakefield commissioners or selectmen to talk about the bridge and what's going to be done next. And at least one from this committee should attend with them. And that was seconded by Denny.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Okay. Yes.
I wanted to go back as, $20,000 really bugs me. The fact that an engineer was hired to tell us what we could do, and for $20,000 they didn't. I would be hard pressed to pay them until these engineers know what is required by each state for permitting.
And in the report, they said, they said, yeah.
I don't even have to know what's in the report. All I know is my dollars paid to get information from an engineer who knows mountains more about roads and bridges that I ever cared about. And they gave us paddling. We need to get steak, okay? We should at least get some steak on the table, not paddling. We need to know what we can do for 20 grand. And I would think that would be a pertinent question. You didn't give us what we paid for.
Anything else on bridges?
Oh, yes, signage. The signage still isn't correct on the Row Bridge. That was, the DOT notified us a year ago, December. The signs that are out by the post office are road signs. They're not considered legal for the bridge. The bridge has got to have, I believe, an E2 sign, and we've got to check with whatever else they said, but it was written on the report when they did and the other thing is the LRAP money for 7th Street. I don't know if the selectmen have put in for that, but since we're maintaining it now, we should get the money from the state for that. So somebody's got to turn in the form. Last year we did it, Joe and I did it last December, and it hadn't been done since 2007, so I think it's something that slips through the cracks pretty easily.
All right, the next thing on the agenda is the tentative schedule for summer repair, since we're in budget season. Have you submitted your budget yet?
Yeah, I have. So we're gonna see what happens, I guess. We put in for some increases for paving or summertime, and I'm just gonna leave it at that for now.
I have a question for you and also for Joe. When I see him, I'll ask him this also. Have you sat down and done a comprehensive list of everything that needs to be done on our town roads? You know, like if you had a wish list, you could wave a magic wand and have all the money in the world that you wanted?
I get a list. I have things jotted down. Do I have a legitimate list? No, but I have things jotted down. I mean, that need to be done, but then there's things that can be put on the back burner for a couple more years,
Well,
but.
the reason I'm asking is, I mean, you guys do a fabulous job during the winter, and everyone always says you do a fabulous job during the winter. And during the summer, though, you're between a rock and a hard place, because you don't have enough money to do what needs to be done. And sometimes I wonder if the taxpayers know exactly what the condition of our infrastructure actually is in. I mean, you know, because you look at it every day. So that's why I was wondering if you had ever sat down and done a comprehensive list of, you know, this needs to be done, and here's how I'm prioritizing it, which you have to do.
I have a plan for the next 3 years, and I'm gonna be presenting it, you know, my budget, because it ties in with paving and, you know, my summertime work and all that stuff. You know, I have one for the next 3 years, for a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan. You know, I got enough, you know, I have a 5-year plan too, but I mean, for my 1 to 3 year, I have a plan, you know, and, you know, the winter time, you know, I understand, you know, but that comes down to the safety part of it too.
Oh, absolutely.
But in the summertime too, I mean, you gotta pick and choose your battles in the summertime. If you're gonna do this road, well, most times all the money we have to do is that road, and I mean, it's too bad, it's unfortunate, but.
I know, but then we have residents who was, you know, was like, why is this road getting done and mine isn't?
Oh, and the other thing too is, you know, at the end of the day, people need to show up to town meeting and express that so the selectmen can hear it. I mean, there's only so much we can do at budget time and ask for, and at the end of the day, people need to show up and say that, you know? You can't, no offense to people on Facebook, but you can't hide behind the computer and complain about it. You gotta get out and express your feelings. And we're putting in for increases for paving, and, I mean, I'd like to be doing 3 miles a year, but I don't think that's gonna be, it's not gonna happen, but, I mean, but you gotta really pick and choose your battles. Like the H road's my number one this year. I got a section that I wanna do, and that's probably all I'm gonna be able to do this year. So, I mean, trust me, I feel just as bad for the taxpayers, but hey, it is what it is.
How about crack sealing for both districts? Do you think the selectmen would consider getting estimates to have NICOM or one of those companies come in?
I think we gotta I thought about it, Cindy, but I think we gotta get caught up on paving before we worry about crack sealing. I
Yeah.
mean, there's too much deterioration throughout Joe's side. My side, not so much. I mean, I have a couple of good roads you probably could crack seal, but you gotta get caught up on the paving first. And that loops back around to the maintenance, when we do get caught up paving, If we could get caught up paving, then we could, that's the maintaining we could do.
Yeah.
But we gotta get caught up first. I mean, everybody in this room knows it,
Oh, you need more money, we know that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir. I mean, we understand that.
I know.
But I don't know if everybody in town does understand it, that what you guys actually are up against.
Leslie, this would have been out there on television, and anybody else that was interested, back in November. And the selectmen put a stop to the meeting with the Warren Finance Committee, and then it was rescheduled when the selectmen found out they didn't have the authority to stop the meeting. So it was rescheduled in January for people like Will to sit down and have a conversation with everybody sitting in the room, what he was looking at for the next 3 to 5 years or 10 years, or whatever he was thinking.
Right.
And the selectmen put out a directive to all town employees that they weren't allowed to come to the meeting and talk about any budgetary issues with the town of Acton. So, in Will and Joe's defense about not having all this up front, they've had it, but the selectman's office would not allow them to present it to the public. Until they've gone through it, and this was in their email, and decided what the public will see and what the public won't. Read, I can give you a copy of the email.
So please send it to me. And then I'll send it to you guys. I mean, I am a big believer in transparency. I think everything should be out in the public. Will, I don't, would you be willing to share your 1-year, 3-year, 5-year plan with the rest of the committee?
Like now, or?
No.
The next
It's a-
meeting.
I guess,
Right this minute.
I don't know, I got a good, it's in my head, I mean, I can do it now, but, I mean, yeah, if that's something we wanna talk about, but I mean, I don't wanna, but I just don't wanna go putting the cart before the horse or anything like that, with budgets and all that stuff, so I'd rather get a couple budget meetings in first and.
Yeah, I'm doing this out here for, maybe for down the road.
Oh, yeah, for down the road, but I think we
Because I
definitely,
know that you've got a lot of work to do with getting your budget through right now.
but I think it also falls back on the whole capital improvement committee, is that we need to get that fired up, is what we really need to do.
Right.
I mean, then you could, the bridges, you could have a capital improvement for the bridges, the roads, like we've talked about for years, and nothing's happening. I mean, well, you gotta,
You could look at a bond issue
Yeah.
where
That
the
too.
interest rates are as low as they are now. That might be a way to just get a bunch done and get them done right for once and then maintain them.
That's,
Is there the will out there, you think, to approve something like that?
I think there is. I mean, we all need these roads. We have a lot of commuters. We need that, the road bridge is our commuting road, really, for so many people. And, you need to put some money into it. We've lagged behind for years. We should have been doing a better job and adding more, and now it's catching up.
Right.
And more people are coming to town and more traffic, and we seem to have money for everything else, so I'm happy to go to any budget meeting and cheer you on and clap in the stands, or,
Well, that's the thing, is that we get going, town meeting, we're gonna need the support to push, the increases we need for paving, and, hopefully everything, we can do the convincing, and hopefully everything works out, and we can try to advance in our paving, but I mean, it's gonna be, but you gotta pick and choose, Me and Joe have had this conversation a lot, and it's what it comes down to. Robin can tell you.
Yeah, and if you have an emergency, that's gonna blow a hole in your budget.
I mean, that's why we put an increase our summertime maintenance this year.
Because I know you and I talked the other day about the condition of Langley Shores. It's, that one
I drove
part
down there
right
this morning.
across the whole road. If we have one bad storm, that road could go.
well, ask for everything. They can only say no.
Yeah, well, I wish I didn't say no, but.
Anyway, give some thought to doing a comprehensive, on all of your roads. Like I said, down the road a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I have a plan. I mean, I definitely have my 1 to 3 year plan. I mean, I can do my 5 year plan, that's no problem. I know what I need to do. But like last year, it was just catch up things that, prolonged problems. Have been problems for the past 5 years that we fixed. Cindy will tell you, right down at the Wyman Point, Acton Ridge, that iced in every
was
single
dangerous.
time.
It's the first time it's run in years,
And
right?
look at now, there's nothing in the road now, and the road's dry. Up by the dump, that's not washing out, Same thing up to the Gavin Road last year. We ditched that whole thing, because Rob will tell you, we had a heck of a problem up there last year, and we fixed the problem, but, that's where all of our money went, and we couldn't do, prepping for paving for, this year. Like, I like to do prep the year before, so when you pave, you're all set and ready to go, but, I mean, like I said, you gotta pick and choose your battles, so that's just what we do.
Anyway, but I mean, I just would like the public to know.
Well, I think it'd be a good thing too, for them to know, and like I said, I think more people need to come out and support the roads, support the fire department, whatever, but they need to come out, and you can read about it all day long on Facebook, but Facebook's not gonna do us no good. That's the truth.
And the last thing on the agenda is Article 43. Did everyone see the new proposed application?
I haven't seen it.
No.
When did it come out?
It came, it was out 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so it's the,
The new and supposedly improved. And here, I'll send this around so you can take a peek at it. I was very disappointed with the new application. What they want to do is require either DEP or a licensed environmental engineer to certify any work that needs to be done, write a report. There's a controversy over what is maintenance, what is repair. And I took a few moments and I went to Merriam-Webster Dictionary for repair definitions. And for Merriam-Webster, repair is to restore by replacing a part or putting together what is torn or broken / fix. Repair means to put in good order something that is injured, damaged, or defective. Repairs are restoration work for when something gets broken or damaged. Maintenance is meant to prevent damage and prolong life. Keep in an existing state, preserve from failure or decline. Then I went to Black's Law Dictionary. What is repair? And according to Black's Law Dictionary, repair is restoration to soundness. Repair means to restore to former condition. So I wanted to throw that out there for what it is worth. I spoke with Wendy Garland at DEP, and her take was, and I talked to the selectmen about this at the last meeting, and Wendy Garland has stated that the problem lies in the lack of definitions. The statute that we did Article 43 under, the ultimate goal is protecting the water quality, and it left a great deal of room for interpretation. According to Wendy Garland, recrowning a gravel road can be defined as a repair. Once the crown has been damaged, it must be repaired to properly direct runoff. And she didn't think that was a problem with the statute.
I just have to say that, I mean, it doesn't make any sense if the purpose of the article was to mitigate the runoff and mitigate pollution of the Great Lakes. And you can't use the money for building a new culvert, right? You have to already put the...
Right, because it's repair.
Right,
It's not new projects, it's
Right.
repair, so
And
it's...
if they consider cleaning out the culvert as maintenance, then you can't use the money for anything, because that's the only two things you can do to it.
I also spoke with Amanda Pratt at DEP. Amanda took over for Wendy, and since the selectmen had decided that, DEP or this licensed environmental engineer should be the ones directing it, I asked her, I said, has our selectmen contacted you to see if this is something that DEP would feasibly be able to do? And she said, DEP would like to help, but inspecting roads and writing reports for this type of a project is not something that they would routinely do. And what she said is they would direct us to the watershed studies that are required to be done to access this money. And that the ultimate goal is water quality, and there is much room for interpretation. And Jay is exactly right. The statute says repair. It doesn't say installing a new culvert or, any type of a new infrastructure. That's what the 319 grants are for, which DEP does have a big hand in helping with 319 grants.
Leslie,
Yes.
at the selectmen's meeting that you were talking at, Joe, Jay, was that the last selectmen's meeting?
Yes.
Winchell said that you can get DEP to come in and it doesn't cost anything. Well, there's a big difference between the DEP coming in for a municipality, for public work, than it is for a private entity. And every one of these road associations are private entities. It's not a municipal. So for any private entity, and my experience on the planning board, any private entity that needs to have permission or whatever from DEP, it costs people money.
York County Soil and Water also.
So York County Soil and Water also. So
There
is a cost to this. And it could be a huge cost. And cleaning out a culvert or changing a culvert is one thing. But the bottom line is, grading a road by definition is a repair. And the law says for repairs. Okay? And there's other things that also fall under that. Just because I have an opinion of what a repair is, or what maintenance is totally irrelevant. If the state doesn't have a definition, which they do not have, is my understanding,
They do not.
then you have to go to the dictionary and see what the dictionary says.
Which I just did.
So that's the answer. My opinion's irrelevant.
I also questioned about the attorney that we used. We have a guide to forming road associations. It's a booklet that's put out by DEP and is attorney reviewed. We used an attorney, the town used an attorney that has no special expertise in roads. They didn't even use our land use attorney. But this road association booklet was reviewed for legality by a Clifford H. Goodall of Dyer, Goodall, and Dennison in Augusta. So why are we using, so there's attorneys out there that have expertise in roads and road associations. And it had said in this, repair and maintenance was allowable to be reimbursed. DEP said that was a mistake. They went in and removed the word maintenance. However, they have not had the lawyer review that, which I find to be a little disconcerting.
Acton Road, Private Roads also hired an attorney prior to submitting it, and he was fine with this. He worked in the office with Lenkowski. He's now chairman of the PUC, so we no longer have him. But after he wrote it, he did send it, that was sent to the town attorney also, who approved it at that point. I think Article 43 has gotten a lot of attention for, I'm wondering, how about the other 7 million? I mean, all we're hearing about is Article 43.
No, I know. I mean, it's less than 1% of the budget, and that seems to be the main focus. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be done right, but is Article 43 our major problem in town? I don't think so.
No?
Another thing that I wanted to bring up, I asked when the auditor came in to answer questions, I had asked some very specific questions about Article 43. And actually, I thought that the night with the auditor was a little disappointing because it wasn't a night with the auditor, it was a night with the owner of the auditing firm. Because the auditor spent the evening looking at the table instead of answering questions. The owner of the company answered probably 98% of all of the questions. And I asked two very specific questions with Article 43. And I asked, what were the concerns with Article 43? And what were the directives given to the Board of Selectmen? So I did not feel that those two questions were answered. And then this new application comes out. I asked the selectmen, where did the language, a licensed environmental engineer, come from? What, was the attorney directed to insert that language? Because, like I said, he has no special expertise in this. The statute says the DEP or the town, and I think I have a copy of the statute here, I can read it. All right. The Department of Environmental Protection or the municipality determines that the private road, way, or bridge is contributing to the degradation of the water quality of the Great Pond based upon an evaluation of the road, way, or bridge using a protocol accepted by the department. So this statute, and this is the actual law, gives the town the ability to make that determination without putting an undue burden on the private road to have DEP come in or to pay an outside agency to come in, because these outside agencies are not going to do it for free. So, I personally have a number of issues with that, and I would like to have a copy of all of the correspondence with this article through freedom of access. So, if we could have a motion for that, I would appreciate it.
Sure, I've written this down too. So I'll make a motion to request all records and documentation pertaining to Article 43 to include, but not be limited to letters, memos, emails, notes, or phone calls either through the town server, town administrator, personal phone, text messages, and all Board of Selectmen personal phone, text messages. All legal opinions from MMA, Joe Lankowski, Bork, and Clegg, and any other attorneys that they've used, any documentation and records from any state representative, meeting minutes from the attorney meeting, who attended, and discussion relating to Article 43.
Is that a motion?
Yes,
That's a
it
motion.
was.
I second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor? All opposed? All right. What else does anyone have?
What's about that?
I know with all this up and down, cold weather, hot weather, cold weather, our roads have really taken a beating this year.
They have?
Very muchly. Just putting it out there for
Yeah, we're gonna
for the
we're
people
gonna
to
post the roads
understand where
Monday
these road
morning.
commissioners are coming
Yeah.
from. These roads this year has taken, I've never seen it, roads take a beating as they have this year.
And,
We're gonna post the roads Monday morning, me and Joe.
That's-
good.
I
I
will say
actually,
this about the road.
Oh,
And
God.
this is down there on the Harbor Road.
Not-
Between what David Langley and Robin Ham did last year, and what Joe Letourneau did last year, that culvert into Flat Ground Road by Morals is staying pretty darn good. Best I've seen in 20 years.
and I also put a note on Facebook not long ago. I had to go to Portland. I left my house at 6 in the morning, and you guys all know my big hill, that big hill. I really thought I was gonna be going back home after sliding back down that hill. Went right up it. That road, it was down to pavement, and it was right after that last storm we had. Down to pavement, and I had no problems at all getting up that road. I told you about it, because I saw you that morning, and it was like, holy cow.
It's so rough, don't wanna have to go back down it.
I've slid back down that hill a number of times.
Yeah, we're gonna meet, I gotta talk to Joe again, but next week we're gonna post the roads. It's just, with it being, it's been, a couple days it's been warm, and it's been real cold, and like anything, there's contractors in town trying to finish out, trying to be fair as we can with them, but, just next week's gonna get warm after Monday, so.
But, you know,
Sounds to me
it's-
like you can pass this on to Joe, that, I think I heard him starting processing down on the harbor. I thought I heard the kids up there today, just started today. So they'll be hauling logging trucks up there. It sounded to me that's where it's coming from.
well, the roads are are thawing out. I mean, the private part of my road is all mud. So we have mud season already. So, but anyway, I wanted to thank you, all you guys personally, that, you know, you're doing a great job with the roads this winter, and,
Especially your road, good grief.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
all in favor? Thanks, Virginia.